all deal with parents who have a bias against LGBTQ during the lockdown?
For the clarification on the question, are you just talking about someone who is a part of the LGBTQ community and them dealing with their parents, or just any person dealing with parents who
Oh
have
no,
a bias?
like uh, like parents who have a bias against LGBTQ because the kids, like, they're part of the LGBTQ community and they also know that their parents have a bias against it.
I guess I'd just like to start off by saying that there's no wrong or invalid way of handling this as long as your own safety is the priority. Because when it comes to people who are a part of the LGBTQ community, and especially queer and trans youth who are still dependent on their parents, safety becomes the biggest concern. You don't want to be abused emotionally, mentally, physically. You still need the resources that they're giving you. So, if in order to preserve your own safety and well-being, it's okay to avoid discussions on this topic. If you are out to your parents and they are still not accepting of this, perhaps you could limit your discussions to not include these topics, or you could limit the amount of time that you spend with them if they're hurting you in some way. And if you're not out to them, there's no obligation to come out. I mean, in general, there's no obligation for a queer person to come out to anybody if they don't feel ready, if they don't feel like it's right. And these discussions can be quite exhausting to someone who is queer, because in a way you're trying to justify your existence and why you should be allowed to occupy space in this world, which no one should have to do. And I think if avoiding these discussions or limiting the amount of time, like, it preserves your safety and your well-being, by all means, I think you should go ahead and do that, and find sources of support outside the home that you can count on.
Thank you for sharing that. And it is like very important that if you're not getting the support from your parents, hopefully you would be able to like find communities like online through Reddit or Facebook or like other things. I would also say that like from minimizing your emotions, minimizing a part of your identity, sometimes your life does get hard, and at that point, like at no point you're like let it allow to go to like self harm. Self harm is like not a good way of, is not a good coping mechanism, irrespective of like what it is. So like try, like if self harm like sounds like the best idea like to do, that means that you are in a space where you're not like you're not you're basically not at the right space. So that means that you have to change something, like you change your location, change your background, exchange something, like maybe like, maybe finding the community that helps you get out there. I'm not saying all coping mechanisms are bad. Coping mechanisms are there because like there's a reason for it, but don't use self-harm as a coping mechanism. What about others? Do you guys have anything to add?
If it comes to the point where people can be very insistent about these things. So say you found the courage to have this conversation and it's already out there, and now you're living in a space where that's no longer welcome. And it's been, people can get very insistent about invalidation. And sometimes when someone's very consistent and very confident about their points, it can cause you very naturally to second guess yourself, or it can cause you very naturally to give up that part in a way, or to stifle if possible. But the internet is a wonderful place, like Manasvini said, to just get that support that you might not be able to. And it's really tough to admit that you might not get support from the places that you really needed, which is the people in your life that you're closest to. But unfortunately, if that happens, then do everything you can to find the support you need. And that might be through the internet, but I promise you, like, finding connection on there is much better than denying that part of yourself.
Yeah, I think Manasvini and Sia, they mentioned some great points, because ideally the way people might operate if their parents are if their parents are homophobic. So they would ideally limit their interactions by leaving very early to work and coming back late at night. So that is a very that is something that people have missed during lockdown. So I don't know any personal stories, but I was just reading a couple of articles, and people in the UK where you had the parents talking about the devil, driving out the devil like in front of that person. So those are stories that really touched me in a way that I felt no one should ever go through. So these stories are happening everywhere, and especially harder in countries where this is not even recognized. So yeah, it's definitely tough. I don't have an answer. Like they said, online communities, they can help, but yeah, talking to a real person, that's much better in my opinion, some way, if you can find that. Yeah.
Thanks for watching. If you liked the video, make sure to like, comment, and subscribe. If you'd like to see more videos on the topic, make sure to check out our playlist where we answer more questions. We'll see you next time.